Be in 5th grade. Be in AI class. It's like advanced shit for smart kids. The teachers decided it's a good idea for us to spend a day with the Tard kids because we were ahead of schedule for the marking period. I'd never seen a Tard previous to this encounter, so I had no idea what to expect. Walk into the Tard HQ. It seems to be a regular classroom filled with ugly-ass kids. Everybody is assigned to their own personal Tard to talk to. I get assigned to Neal. I walk up to the Tard and say, "Hello, I'm Phil." "Hi, Phil." One fluent word. "Hi, Phil." He seems like he says this whenever he is within 30 feet of me, and it becomes my only warning of the inevitable oncoming shitstorm. Sit down and see he's cutting paper. Ask him what he's making. What? The Tard starts to make a screeching sound. The only thing I can compare it to is the sound of a fucking raptor. A fat, downy Tard runs up to us. "Stop it!" Neal gets up and continues his Raptard roar directly in her face. Downy Tard goes batshit, engages Tard strength, and flips the entire table over. Neal not only continues his Tard roar, but moves closer to the Downy girl. Down Kid just starts screaming and tries to run for the door, forgets to open it and smashes into it head first. KO. Neal silences his roar, sits down and continues cutting the paper as if nothing ever happened. All my what.jpg. Tard Wranglers run in and retrieve Neal and the Downy child. They are both sent home. And that, my friends, is the first of many stories of Neal. After our first faithful encounter, I hadn't seen Neal for a while, so this story takes place around 3 months after my previous story. Be walking down the hall with friends to lunch, talking about usual 5th grade shit, Pokemon, whatnot. Hear a faint yet memorable voice. "Hi, Phil." Don't answer. Pretend I heard nothing due to the events of last time. Hear the sound yet again, except this time it's directly in my ear. "Hi, Phil." He had just appeared on my side. He had to be at least 30 or so feet in the other direction previously. This speed will come into play in later encounters. Wave awkwardly to him and say, "Hey, Neal." He extends a bag of Cheetos he had in his hand in direction. "Want some?" No thanks, Neal. My friend's not knowing the kind of devastation Neal is capable of, reaches over and grabs one of the Cheetos out of the bag without asking. Neal looks up with pure malice. Oh fuck, not again. Neal approaches my friend, deliberately looking him in the eyes. Engage Raptard roar. This one was in short bursts. It appeared as if he has different roars for different situations. Friend says, What's wrong with him?" Say nothing, as I do not want to feel Neal's wrath. Friends back away as Neal approaches, chewing the Cheeto. Neal lets out one last violent Tard roar and hurls himself at my friend, knocking him over. He jams his hand into my friend's mouth and retrieves the liquidy remnants of the Cheeto while continuing his Tard roar in his face. He stands up and eats the liquidy half-eaten Cheeto after silencing his roar. Tard Wrangler comes speeding down the hallway and grabs Neal by the wrist to pull him back to Tard HQ. Waves at me. "Bye, Phil." Not a single ounce of regret, or any emotion for that matter, in his eyes. I wave at him and utter, "Bye, Neal." Neal Part 3. The Battle of the Tards. Now you see, Neal mainly kept to himself. He didn't like his Tard kind all that much, but he extremely disliked one Tard named James. This is the first of their battles that I saw. Be in 6th grade now. New AI teacher is a very avid Tard supporter. We are now going to help the Tards out once a week for the entire year. I enter the Tard HQ and see Neal in the corner. Hasn't grown an inch since last year. Turns out he will remain 5 foot exactly for the rest of his life. He looks as if he's in total concentration reading a book. I walk up to Neal. "Hey bud, what you reading?" Gives me one of those toothy Tard grins. "Hi Phil." Sit next to him and look at the book. Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat. A skinny tall tard walks over to us. I could tell he was a dick from the first second I saw him. "What are you reading, Neal?" Snatches the book away from Neal's hands. This book is for babies." Neal gets up. "Give it back, James." James holds it above his head. "Take it." Neal's rage is apparent. It is that of 1,000 suns. Neal sounds his raptard screech. This is slightly different from his roar. Its sole effect is to piss off other tards. "Stop it, Neal. Take your dumb book." Too late for that, bud. Neal continues to approach with his fists above his head as far as he can reach. Screech continues. At this point, Tard HQ is compromised. Tards are going crazy. Crayons and shit is being thrown. One tard has crawled into a ball in the puddle of piss. AI class is told to evacuate. I stay to watch the imminent lulls. James is now clutching his ears for dear life. Neal is finally within striking reach of James. He throws a mighty fist down onto James' nuts with the accumulative force of 1,000 bad hammers. James drops and begins to throw up on the magic carpet. Neal silences the screech and picks the book up James had stolen from him. He then proceeds to sit down and read it directly in James' pile of vomit. But why not JPEG? He looks up at me with that big toothy grin as I just stare at him. Tard Wranglers bust in. One grabs me and pulls me to safety, and the others grab the debilitated James. And Neal screams after me, "Bye, Pill!" I just watch as he is hauled off to the principal's office, not giving a single bit of resistance. That day was known as N Day up until I left high school. Be in second marking period now. Neal has been suspended for pulverizing James's nuts, but he's back now. I've started to look forward to our days helping the tards just because of Neal. Unfortunately, it's not that day. Be in art class. Teacher says we have a tard coming to our class from now on because the school started some sort of new integration program for tards. Neal walks through the fucking door. "Class, this is Neal." "Hello, Neal," the class says in unison. "Hi, Phil." Teacher lets him sit next to me because he knows me. And I shit you not, James walks in right after he does. Oh shit, nigger.jpg. James is introduced to the class as well and is put at the same table as us just by luck. We're starting watercolor painting right now. Neal decides he wants to paint an apple because that's what I'm painting. And James starts to start some shit because he's a dick. "Your apples look like shit." And Neal ignores him because he's fucking Neal and he doesn't give a fuck. James is obviously angered by being ignored by me and Neal, so he pours all of his paint onto my painting. Don't give a fuck, but Neal sure as hell did. Commence Raptard Roar, short burst mode. This is when I found out that short bursts means he's going to wreck your shit. Neal throws all his paint right into James's eyes as the class looks on in horror. "My eyes!" James can't see shit. And Neal has now taken out Skittles that I assume he had hidden in the foreskin of his penis. I found out he's uncircumcised in a later incident, and begins pelting James with them. He's hurling these at Mach 5 speeds into him. James falls out of his stool, and he brings a girl down that's sitting next to him too. Neal walks around the table and picks up the paint, and slowly empties it onto both James and the girl. It is apparent that Neal does not give a fuck about civilian casualties. The roar has stopped. The kids all huddled in the corner aside from me. The two tards and the poor girl caught in the mix. Teachers signals tard wranglers waiting outside. James and Neal are picked up and taken from the classroom. Neal is in complete and utter peace while being carried away. He simply waves at me. "Bye, Phil." And that was how the school ended its integration program after the girl who got wrecked, her parents attempted to sue the school. Neal. The story of the lightning raptard. Be in 7th grade now. Haven't seen Neal in over a year. He and his parents had moved to a different school district due to the previously mentioned problems with this one. Be in the third marking period. It's okay. Not the same without Neal, though. Walking down the hall one day. Lo and behold, Neal is walking down the hall, all 5 feet of him. Run up to him. Hey Neal, you coming back to the school again? Hi, Phil. He now has his own personal Tard Wrangler at all times except for lunch, who explains everything to me. Unfortunately, I have no classes with Neal to do the whole integration system being destroyed by the wrath of Neal. I see him in the halls from time to time, though. You see, the thing about our middle school is that it has multiple buildings, which you have to travel outside to get to. And as I mentioned before, Neal possesses lightning speed, which he doesn't display very often. One day, while I'm walking to woodshop with my friends, I see something blaze past me, followed by a familiar noise. The lightning Raptard's mighty roar. 50 feet behind him is the Tard Wrangler, unable to keep up with him. Everybody looks on in shock as Neal plows directly through a small Asian girl carrying her books. As previously stated, Neal does not give 2 shits about civilian casualties. Neal looks behind to see how far he is from the Wrangler. He silences his roar, as he can see he has won. Neal fails to see the glass door directly in front of him when he plows through it, just as he did the Asian girl. Neal's out. Tard Wrangler finally catches up and picks up Neal, bringing him back to Tard HQ just as he has come back to consciousness. Neal sees me as he is being carried away. Hi, Phil. Neal's back, everybody. And that is the end of part 1. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. I have never read one of these green texts before, but I can tell I'm going to absolutely fucking love it because this is amazing. Oh, God, I know it's offensive, but this is just... It's hard to read this and not want to laugh my ass off. So Anyways, everybody, thank you very much for listening. I will be coming out with part 2 very soon. Be ready to watch and listen to the wrath of Neal, as it's only going to get worse. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.